back, and we're back with another wonderful organization in the community of Long Beach and the surrounding area. This has been also a surprise to me because the things that this organization is responsible for is so comprehensive, and we want to be part of that. So we're really pleased to have Roger Van Remmen, and he is here as the President and Chief Executive of Richstone. Now, that's a new name for us, not new, but it's a family center, and as I looked through your information, I was really surprised at the extent of your services.
Well, thank you. We've been in the business for about 40 years, 41 years, and we really take a very, you use the right word, encompassing and holistic approach. It's a center that is dedicated to the prevention of child abuse and domestic violence. And certainly the core of our service is therapy for children and for adults that have gone through domestic violence. But we look at it in the sense of saying, what other services could we provide that can kind of break this chain of domestic violence and child abuse? So we have a kids center where we have 50 kids, which is the core of Richstone. We have kids running around after school. Plus we have a after-school program for the Hawthorne School District, and we service 1,100 kids throughout 10 different schools. We have classes that we have. Some of our therapists will go out and give classes into the community, whether it's anger management, parenting. We will also do classes to kids, teen violence, teen dating violence, social skills class. And we'll do them both in English and in Spanish. We've got a really nice program that we've done that we've expanded thanks to First Five, where we're doing home visits for young parents. And it's the first time being parents, and we're teaching them on parenting skills. And now we've reached out into the area of Willowbrook and West Athens with the support of First Five. And then we have another unique program, which is a little different off base, but we've now been doing it for 18 years. We own 2 homes in Hawthorne for emancipated foster care kids. At the age of 18, as you know, they're let go. And so we bring them into the house and give them skills, and part of it will be education, take care of themselves. And it's been an absolutely productive and really fulfilling program for us, where we've got kids that end up being a nurse, graduating from UCLA. Others have been a truck driver, but the key is they're productive in society. So,
well, you know, how did this? Child abuse is becoming more and more prevalent in our minds and what we can do about it. But how long has this program been in operation?
41 years.
41 years.
41 years.
At a time when it wasn't talked about as much.
It was not talked about, and you bring up a really good point. It was never talked about then, and B. Richstone, God love her, saw the need and brought in these therapists who came in not being paid, and we started in Hawthorne in this little house. And today it's become more prevalent, and it's becoming more prevalent because I think there is more awareness of it. In the city of Hawthorne, some of our officials will say, the reason we have a high awareness and we talk about a high number is because we've worked so hard in the community to let people know so they can report it. And what we're trying to do is break that cycle.
And new programs, because working with emancipated foster homes, this is something that has just been talked about, it seems like, in the last 10 years.
That's exactly right. Yeah. An interesting thing about the foster care situation, and it talks a little bit about our encompassing services, we can deal with a foster care child at transitional living and come to find out she will need therapy. And so we have that therapy services to offer back at Richstone, and they work together. And that has become very productive for us. People really look at what program we have to say, my God, you guys do a great job. Our problem is we can only service 8 people at one time. And we don't have these large homes, you know, where they have 50 people. So that's our challenge, but we know that those that come out of the program got a great success rate.
Well, most of your program, I know, is in the South Bay area, but I know that it's far-reaching.
Sure is.
And you get people in need all over, and you're trying to serve as many as possible. How many people do you touch, do you think?
Well,
Are you talking about hundreds?
well, no, we're talking thousands. I mean, if you look at it, we have a caravan. It's an RV, and it provides therapy. And what it does is it drives to schools all the way down to Wilmington, up to Lenox. And that in itself, I just saw the figures. It was 670 clients we saw in a one-year period. You know, so we're into thousands in terms of how many people we touch and reach with our classes, our therapists. We have a therapist operation down in Torrance as well.
And how do people get in touch with you? How do they know about this service?
You know, you just call me at 310-970-1921.
I just talked to Peter.
Love you.
But is it something that they talk about in the schools? Is it something they talk about? Where do you get your referrals?
You know what? We get our referrals a lot from the courthouse. We get a lot from schools. We have I didn't even talk about our crisis management team. We have it at Centinela Valley. We have 5 therapists, one on each high school campus, that is there full time. And these young kids, there's some terrible situations that go on. And we'll get referrals out of there every day. Most of the Department of Children and Family Services and the courts. The courts are very large supporters of us.
So it's the schools, family services, the court?
Yeah,
that's
predominantly.
And like, you just gave us our telephone number, and I'm going to have you do it again, but do they call you too?
They'll call the center. We have a center helpline, both in English and in Spanish. And we'll take the case on and get it recorded, and we'll try to find the right services for them.
Well, you were talking that you would like to have some of the extended services more in Long Beach also? We
would love to. I mean, talking to Don a little bit earlier, I mean, our goal is to grow, and we know we have a very good product, so we're trying to expand out. We've just expanded out into Watts Willowbrook, and we would love to expand, you know, further south, excuse me. You know, the key is we're just trying to meet the community needs, and we're happy to do it, and we don't have a problem, you know, filling the need. We have a problem finding the money to fill the need.
Absolutely, and your funding, is it from local supports at different areas, or is it, what's your strongest funding? Well,
we've been very cautious with how we've formulated that, and that's a really good question. Less than 50% of our funds come from the government, and that's on purpose, because you don't want to get too reliant on government and then all of a sudden lose it, and especially now where you're seeing funds being lost from government. Then the rest of it comes from public, either our work with foundations, our work with private people, and then our fundraising. And our fundraising's has been very successful over the last couple of years. We've really increased the revenue off of that.
And how do you raise your funds? Do you have a special part of your organization that is the development?
Yeah, we do. We've taken kind of a different approach, and I don't want to say it's different, but we have a development director, Allison Tanaka, who does a phenomenal job. But when I came in, I wanted to make sure that this was a responsibility of the entire senior staff. And our clinical director, our director of programs, myself, we are all part of that developmental process. And it's just so important that all of us put the energy together to make sure that we're offering a foundation or a grant the right product.
Now, you gave me so much information at the very beginning. What are the titles of your programs?
Well, we have the REACH program, which the REACH program in itself is really most of our therapy program, and the caravan is there. And then you have a crisis team. You have a crisis management team, which serves as Centinela Valley High School. We have another program that is with Providence Little Company of Mary, and we offer bilingual therapy at their medical operation in Hawthorne. We've got a whole team put together for classes that go out into the community. We don't have a name for that, but we just have that service there. We have our First Five program, which is parents acting as teachers, and that's
training of parents.
training of young parents, and we do that in Watts Willowbrook as well as in the South Bay, the home visitation, and then our transitional living program.
So, like, that's thousands of people.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Well, the things that you're doing, I think, are just, as I say, when I first read about Richstone, I couldn't believe the number of things that you are involved with, and especially the awareness of something that it isn't recent, but something that's being talked about more and more, and the need that you see in the communities for parent training, for what is abuse. Yeah. Because people don't even know that maybe hollering is abuse. Right. And so, you know, this is an age that we need to be more sensitive to these things. And I think you're ahead of your time in doing it for 40 years.
Well, thank you. You know, whether we are ahead of our time or not, we know we're here to serve the community, and we want to offer the proper services. We know there's a demand for this service, and we see it every day. All you're trying to do is, I mean, historically with child abuse, the grandfather beat the father or the mother then beats the child, and it goes down in cycles. All we're trying to do is cut that cycle. And if you could do it at a younger age, you've done a very good job. Yeah.
Well, Roger, we're glad to have you. Say your telephone number again.
310-970-1921 or the richstonefamilycenter.org.
Very good. Nice to have you.
Nice meeting you. Thanks.
Nice to meet you. Thanks a lot.
Fun spending time with you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And we thank you for watching. And I do want to remind you that we are sponsored this whole next year by Memorial Health Services in Long Beach, and we're so thankful for their help in making sure this program continues. We'll see you next time.